Everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for coming to join the session. We appreciate everybody. I'm Bill Barker, and it's good to have everybody here. As you're coming on, we'll let you have a second or two here, but please chat it up. Let me know who's out there. Really glad to have you back as part of the conversation, helping us build this great network of leaders, people of influence, people that care about their communities, their colleagues, their families themselves, and they want to learn more about how to be participative. It is participative in all that they do in a positive, influential way. Hey, Jessica, good morning. So nice to see you. And as others are coming in, I want to start out by apologizing for last week's technical glitch. I know, hey, Robin, good to see you. We had a lot of people. We had the most number of people lined up to come on last week. We felt like we had it right, and we had a great topic there on enabling others to act. We're moving beyond ourselves and really getting into a pace where we were able to create an environment where others could be their best and reach their highest potential. So I hope those that were not able to stay on, as we did get it up and running at around 9:15, were able to go back and watch the recording as that finished up our module 1. And good morning, Carolyn. Thanks for being here. And everybody keep coming in. Let us know who's here. So today's an exciting day. We are moving into our second module. Hey, Jessica, the other Jessica, good to see you this morning. And we had a good start to the series, I think. Hey, Diane, so glad to see you. And we talked a lot about leadership in the first module. We kind of set the stage and got everybody prepared to move on into the topics that are more related to application, how to take those leadership practices and apply them for the good of all. Hi, my good friend, Daryl Sandling. Good to see you. So glad you're here. And Bill Ritchie, thank you as well for being here this morning. Glad to see everybody getting in. That encourages my heart. I got to tell you, hey, Nikki, good to see you. But it encourages my heart to see those chats flowing in and know that we're up and live. Really appreciate it. But we walked through a lot. Hey, Rebecca, good to see you. We walked through a lot around leadership, and we talked about what it meant to lead, and we talked about our leadership. Hey, Nicole, great having you here this morning. And what it meant to really think about leadership practices, a framework around your style, your formula, and what makes all that come together around best practices of who you are and what you represent. Stephanie, great having you in here. Let's do this. That's right. We're ready. Sandy, good seeing you this morning. Thanks for all your team's doing too to make this all happen. It's outstanding. So again, we're sorry for the glitch last week, but let's get going this week. So continue to chat it up. We're going to try to make this more interactive. I tried to give myself a little bit more time to interact with you through chat, respond to your feedback, and not just cram in so much that we're rushing at the end. And I think that's going to make for a more personal feel to this. And, you know, thanks, John. Thanks, Lexi. Thanks for being here. It means so much. And really make this conversational. That's the whole purpose, right? We're trying to have a conversation here and build a network of leaders. And the more you can interact with us, the better this conversation will be. Hey, Carrie, so glad to see you again this morning. So today we kick off our new series called Leading Through the Uncertainty of Change. And I got to tell you, that topic, it couldn't be more timely. Hey, John, good having you, my friend. It's just nobody can deny that with COVID, and if you're in the media industry, if it happens to be your field, and you're joining us this morning, this is again sponsored by the Florida Press Association and made possible by the SMPA Foundation. This is a topic that you're gonna know a lot about. You're gonna have a lot of emotion about because you're certainly at the heart of a lot of transformation and change. But over the next 5 weeks, we're going to take you through a process of change, right? So today, our topic is fear of the unknown, how to take that anxiety and turn it into energy and turn it into positivity and confidence so that you can lead through those things that you know are going to be out there that you can't really identify and know completely about today. But how do you prepare for that so that when uncertainty strikes you, that you turn that into energy for success? And then we're going to move from that into 4 other modules that build up how to master this aspect. And the next week, we're going to talk about the courage to explore. So we're going to go away from fear and uncertainty and anxiety into the courage to really think about what it could be, to explore. Then we're going to go into a topic I'm really excited about that we're building out, self-disruption for reconstruction. I think that should be good. The self-determined disruption of ourselves, get us out of our comfort zone to retool and build our skills and maybe even redefine our goals and our aspirations. I think that could be a wonderful topic. Then we're going to move on to the evolution solution, and that's about transformational change. That's intentional change for the purpose of transformation. I think you're going to love it. And then we're going to wrap it all up with helping you emerge as actually a change agent. So I think we've got some great weeks ahead. So let's get started on fear of the unknown. And in our space, this is very true. You know, with fast moving technology changes today, it's clouding our competitive landscape. We know that. We all feel that. The ability to see around the corner. Very important skill as leaders. We talked about that under the leadership practices concept. That ability to anticipate, see around corners, to be ahead of the curve has become increasingly difficult. Even the best indicators and predictors that we often lean on and feel comfortable in have become foggy, and the path forward is much less clear. In organizations where complacency, and we know that this can happen, how anxiety can create complacency because it's a place of safety, has set in the visibility of what lies ahead is low, a high level of fear and uncertainty can take hold without, and this is an important without, strong, effective change leadership. That's the goal. So we all have fears, and this is where we want to start using our chat feature, right? You know, the fight or flight syndrome that's in us all is a very healthy syndrome. It helps us know when to lean in. It helps us know when to back off. It is a sense of right and wrong when it comes to our well-being and health. So, but let's take this to a business perspective. So let's talk about what some of your concerns are out there today. Some of the things that you are thinking about or wondering about or maybe even worrying about. You know, we always talk about how worry is a wasted emotion, but it's a real emotion and we all have it, right? So talk to me a little bit. Do you fear for the future of the industry? You know, regardless of what industry you're in, are you comfortable that we're in a great place, that coming out of COVID, we're going to have growth for months and months, or is there some concerns? Are you hearing a lot from your clients that are expressing concerns? Are you uncertain you can keep up with the rapid changes? Are you afraid that your skill sets maybe are becoming less valuable? Is any of this ringing true to anybody? You know, I'll tell you, I got some fears. I'll share a few of them with you here in a second. Or that you may not meet the expectations of learning new processes or ways of doing things as we continue through this transformational phase. And, you know, coming out of COVID is a really important transformational phase because there should be a lot of upside to that, right? We're sensing that. We're seeing that. But then you throw all these uncertain things around. What is Russia doing in the Ukraine? How's that going to affect the economy? Gas prices, inflation, all these things are out there and they're very real. And ultimately, do you fear losing your job? Hey, Huck, so glad you're here. That's a big one. I think we've all, if you've been in this business, you hadn't thought about that a little bit, then you're just not being honest with yourself, right? That the uncertainty of what lies ahead, your ability to participate and interact in that is real. I spent more than 3 decades experiencing and leading change across the media industry during the time of some of its most transformative in its history. You know, I fully expected, and this is where I'm going to share some of my things. I want you to understand this, to work out my professional life as a publisher. Leading large news organizations, and be honest with you, I'm leading multiple news organizations and large-scale digital marketing organizations. I felt really good about it. It was my identity. I thought I was good at it. I thought I would always be able to do that. Working for a company, having that security blanket of a company. Boy, was I wrong. If you go back 8 years ago, I'm sitting in Tampa. As a publisher of the Tampa Tribune. We go back like 9 years ago. I'm sitting in Tampa as a publisher of the Tampa Tribune, working for a company I'd worked for 24 years. Think about it. 9 years later, I've been through 9 transactions, M&A deals, had 9 different owners, had left Tampa and had 4 owners in Naples alone in less than 5 years. I mean, that is unprecedented, but it really emphasizes the pace at which things change. And all of the fear of not having that and the power and the security and the stability and the identity, you're right. I love that, Carolyn. That is very true. The fear of becoming irrelevant. That's kind of what we're talking about here, right? You know, but all those concerns and fears I had, frankly, sitting here today, I'll tell you, were misled and unfounded. Today, I own my own company, have never been happier, have never been more fulfilled, never been more driven. Pressure is a privilege. We always talked about that, but try putting your name on a business. Then you really understand the importance of client, the importance of delivering on your word, delivering results. Think about a business that every day you're measured on what you accomplish, what you produce. That is a beautiful thing. I would have never believed that if I hadn't been forced to go through this process. And yet I had not been pushed to do it, frankly. I would have held back, and I'd have never had this emotion, had this experience, and been this excited. And I wouldn't be here sharing all this with you today, frankly. But to be brutally honest, had I not had a fearless wife and a partner, now in business as well, my wife Rita, many of you know, none of this would have ever happened. My fear would have kept me in a small town in Tennessee, to be honest, and I'd have never known or fulfilled my potential. I've often wondered when I thought about it, how many other me's are out there that never found their Rita, if you know what I mean. So I'm very thankful for you being here today. I will tell you, what's funny, I recently walked away from an opportunity that I never would have thought I would. It was a great opportunity of a lifetime. But I did it because I want to continue to pursue this dream. And in doing so, further developed a relationship with a leader that I've been close to for a long time, and I am more committed than I've ever been to helping make sure he succeeds, but as a consultant. That's powerful if you think about it. So my message to you is pursue your dreams. Do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life. So Robin, you're right. We all worry about revenue growth as much as things are changing. I am concerned that sometimes we forget to stay focused on the basics of selling or any other areas of business. I'm so glad you said that, because that is what fear of the unknown really references. It's the distraction. It's the energy drain, right? How many hours have you spent thinking and worrying and wondering what's going to happen rather than leaning in to solve against those concerns, right? Hours are wasted. We talk about the waste emotion, but it's real. That's where having a network of friends, we've talked about having your own personal board of directors and those types of things are really, really important. It is true that change can be challenging, but frankly, I've learned that it can also be revigorating. So lock your arms with people in a shared mission to meet the challenges brought by change. Meet the challenges that change represents, especially when you embrace those challenges with an open mind to opportunity. Really, that's it, right? Not be afraid of them, but recognize, what does this mean in terms of opportunity? That's what change does, right? It presents new opportunities for growth and development. It moves you forward beyond your fears, and it keeps you growing. That's the key. So keep bringing in here. What are some examples of things that you've recently experienced that you got on the other side of, looking back and thought, wow, that really wasn't what I thought it was going to be? And how did you learn from that, right? The uncertainties are actually constant companions in life. Let me say that again. Change and uncertainty are constant companions in life. As my wife, I talk about her a lot. She often says, so you might as well just invite them in and ask them to have a cocktail with you and embrace them, get to know them better. Yeah, Al Robin said he agrees with you 100%. Couldn't agree more. So the 3 C's of life are choice, chance, and change. You must make the choice to take the chance if you want anything in life to change. I think that's very, very meaningful. Remember, every achievement begins with a decision to try. Fear kind of makes it easy to do nothing, frankly. But doing nothing is never an option for success, right? Especially when you work in an ever-changing competitive environment. You never want to be stagnant. Ken Whitten, my senior pastor at Idlewild Baptist Church in Tampa, he said it this way, and I thought this was very telling. It has nothing to do with, this is just in general fear. What does fear stand for? If you don't take anything away, capture this. Fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. It's so true, and that's a great acronym for fear, and it applies across the board if you give it some deep thought. False evidence appearing real. Don't let it paralyze you. John Maxwell said, the greatest mistake we make is living in constant fear that we'll make one. I love that. Think about it. The greatest, and that Maxwell's such a good writer, such a good thinker, but the greatest fear, the greatest mistake we will make is living in constant fear that we'll make a mistake. Isn't that funny? Hey, Scott Lawson, good to see you this morning, too. And hey, Jeffrey, good to see you. We all know how awesome it is to feel when we accomplish something that maybe we were hesitant and fearful about. So when that fear or hesitation surfaces, focus on the feeling of joy you will get when you do it. Then you will do it. I love it. Accept the challenges so you may feel the exhilaration of the victory. Jeff just won another book. Whichever one we gave him that last time, give him the other one this time. Jeff, that is great. And I want to go back. Robin, your comments are great. Robin, you win a book too. Jim, give them whichever one they want. The two we were talking about again today is the essentialism we love so much, and the Daily Reader, the Maxwell Daily Reader today was a good one. So I encourage you to continue to do it. So Jeff, thank you for jumping in. Robin, you both enjoyed the read. Great leaders don't fear change. What do great leaders fear? They fear staying the same. Think about that. I used to have a friend. He used to always laugh. He said, if you're waiting on me, buddy, you're backing up. Never be stagnant. Never be stagnant. So they take the risk required to move forward toward the unknown, not away from it. They would rather have a life of, oh, well, than a life of what if. I think that's really good. Oh, well is better than what if, right? Fear of the unknown can be either mobilizing or paralyzing. Remember, we're in constant motion. Complacency is a great one too, Lexi. We're always in constant motion. And in all organizations that are undergoing dramatic change, whatever the predominant response, remember, any organization under pressure going through change for good, it usually is a result of leadership. It is the result of leadership. I say usually, but it is a result of leadership. Leadership is the influencing body. Leadership sets the vision, does all those things, models the way, creates an environment where you can challenge. Leadership will determine how you respond to the ever important need to evolve and change. Tested leaders have become comfortable with change over the course of their trials. They model that self-assurance. Hey, Huck, that's really good. Everybody read Huck's. I love it. I ain't got time to read them all, but that is great. I agreed to the topic. Yeah, everybody read Huck's. I want you to take time to read it. That is something. Huck won a book too, Jim. He brought a great thing forward. Give Huck a book. All right, so they model the self-assurance and confidence for others. They don't wring their hands over what they can't control. They focus on what they can. Remember, focus on the controllables. We've talked about it a lot. People will usually respond positively to change when they trust their leadership. Remember that, trust, and can clearly see its advantages. Again, they will respond positively if they can clearly see their advantages. That's where great leaders, again, step forward. They clearly articulate the purpose and the path toward change and encourage and inspire others to take up the cause and follow. Leadership, followership, leaders build other leaders, remember? Carrie's got a great point there too. Found transparent leaders help mitigate fear of their teams because of the build trust. Absolutely. And that's where vulnerability comes in a little bit too. Practice vulnerability as a leader. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. George Bernard Shaw. The best change leaders begin with small steps and keep their teams from feeling overwhelmed. Small steps, keep from feeling overwhelmed, build momentum over time-tested processes as people get more comfortable. Very important. But sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of our lives. So take that step. Remember, our lives don't get better by chance. They get better by intentional and meaningful change. And by maintaining a positive attitude toward the unknowns. Attitude, frankly, I have learned attitude, we talk a lot about it, can be the difference between an ordeal and an adventure. I've experienced both, frankly, many times, and trust me, the adventure is a heck of a lot more fun. So move toward and beyond the fear of the unknown, toward the courage to explore. I mentioned that's going to be our topic next week. I can't wait to get into it with you. I want to thank you for being on this journey with us. Over the course of the next few weeks, we will encourage you to not only embrace change, but to eventually come out the other end as a change agent. So my takeaway for you today, as I think about it, success is due to our stretching to meet the challenges in life. Failure comes when we shrink from them. Success is due to us stretching ourselves and meeting those challenges. Failure comes when we shrink away from them. Here's my quote for you. True success is overcoming the fear of being unsuccessful. Paul Sweeney. Think about that. True success is when you overcome the fear of being unsuccessful. Change your thoughts and change your world. Norman Vincent Peale. Congratulations to those that won the books today. Next week, we're going to get into a great topic around courage. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the interaction, and lead on.